This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network. And joining me right now is Andy Duncan. He is the chairman and CEO of Boardwalktech Software Corp. It's a publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you: BWLK on the TSX Venture and BWLKF on the OTCQB. And Boardwalktech will be presenting at our upcoming virtual event, the SNN Network Canada virtual event, happening December 7th through 9, 2021. For more information and to register, please go to canada.snn.network. And with that, Andy, thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing?
Hey, Robert, I'm great. Thanks again for having me. It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. So, Andy, for those who may have missed our first interview that we did together, or the previous presentation at our last event, what's that one line that best describes the business of Boardwalktech?
You know, we're all about helping large enterprises transform into a digital environment all of the manual processes that they're using today, mainly utilizing Excel as the as the engine.
Very good. So last time we did an interview together, that was back on December 29th, 2020. So love to get that update. What would you say are some of the company's highlights since then?
Yeah, well, certainly. So, I would say the beginning of this year, back in late January, we closed an $11.3 million Canadian financing that was led by Echelon, and we did a kind of a co-deal in the U.S. to pick up our U.S. investors, and that allowed us to actually not only put a bunch of cash on the balance sheet, but also pay off the debt that we had on the company. So one of the big things that we've done this year is really kind of shore the entire capital structure of the organization up, and it's actually really helped us out a lot.
Very good. So, I mean, what of all the highlights, listen, we only have a few minutes here, so it's not like we can go through every single one. So of them, what would you say has been the most crucial, had the most impact on the company for 2021?
Well, I certainly say that the realization by these large organizations that they do have an issue with regard to manually managing information in Microsoft Excel. And when they see the digital transformation that we can help them with by moving these kind of mission critical, manually based Excel processes into the Boardwalk Digital Ledger platform, and just watching companies not only adopt this, but follow up on kind of the whole land and expand strategy that we have, where we get into a company, we solve a problem, we move to the next problem, we move to the next problem, and really become an integral part of their technology stack and a real partner for these large companies.
Andy, I have to ask, because, as an Excel user myself, by all means, not Mr. Expert Excel for anybody that thinks I am. I don't think they are, but, I just want to make sure I clarify. For me, I know there's always, for the most part, have to, at the very least, you have to input some kind of manual algorithm that then updates whenever there is an update or whatnot. How is your system different? How do you input data in a way in which that it makes everything more efficient?
Yeah, so we basically were the first company to create a traditional database behind Microsoft Excel. So what we do is we move this big, hairy, messy fruit salad, Excel workbook into what we call a single version of the truth, where we do that data transformation automatically onto our server, and then we provide people using native Excel, so we don't ask them to change their process, access to the server, so that when they're making changes, instead of emailing these spreadsheets around, they simply have to do a submit refresh. So that submit refresh connects your local Excel and your version of that Excel into the server, and it moves the changes that you've made onto the server, so that then when the next person comes on, or next grouping of people come on, and they refresh their sheet, they'll actually not only see the changes that you just moved to the server, but they'll actually have a complete historical record of every change that's ever been made in the spreadsheet. And that, for major companies that we have, like Apple, like Ernst and Young, like Accenture, like Verizon Wireless, that really value the ability to have the historical record and what we call a single version of the truth is very important.
Very good. All right. So then, from before I let you go here, to close this out, from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of the company's value catalysts now going into 2022?
Yeah, so we've got kind of three, Robert, that we're very excited about as we're rolling into 2022. One is we're continuing to add new logos and new new customers and clients to our list of already over 25 of the Fortune 500 as clients today, and you're going to see continued announcements from us where we're going to be adding new customers basically around the world. Many customers are really seeing a lot of value in this. So that's one. Two is we're continuing on our land and expand strategy where once we get in, we then drive to the next application, the next application, the next application. And when we say an application, it's really taking an Excel spreadsheet that might have 50 users on it and moving it onto the Boardwalk platform so that they can automate the way in which they manage the data. So that's the second big piece that we're doing. And then the third big thing that we're very excited about is that we've entered into a new market, and we don't do this lightly, but we've now entered into the financial services market. And with that, we expect to be able to see some really great progress, and we're getting some really interesting traction across kind of the banking industry, where the banking industry really is in need of getting a lot of these spreadsheets that are throughout the bank running major mission critical processes. They need to get them into compliance. And we're the perfect vehicle to be able to do that.
Very good. Well, with that, where can our audience go and find more information on Boardwalktech?
Well, they can certainly go to www.boardwalktech.com, or they can reach out to me directly at andy.duncan@boardwalktech.com. Very happy to talk to any investors at any time, and I'm really looking forward to the conference next week, Robert. I appreciate all the hard work by SNN.
Thank you, Andy. We really do appreciate you presenting and participating. And listen, good luck, stay safe, and I look forward to our next update.
Sounds great. Thanks, man.
Thank you, sir.